Hello, beautiful souls. Today I want to talk about fear and how it may be holding you back from creating magic in your life. So, fear is something that stems back maybe from your childhood, at least for me. It was definitely stemming back from more so high school than anything else. I think during that time there was a lot of bullying and people pleasing going on for myself. So I think I didn't realize up until recently how much that actually affected me, and I had to do the shadow work on that. But I really realized why I was holding myself back so much in life and why I was so fearful of things. And it really stems back to childhood. So if you're fearful of something, I encourage you to look back to your childhood and really dig in and see where it may be stemming from. So for me, for example, is I was always very fearful of people judging me and being disliked. So that's the first thing. So people would always kind of bully me for really no reason. I let people walk all over me because I didn't really have a voice back then. So people would make fun of me for like the way I looked or who my friends were. And that really affected me. And I really tried to people please from there because I wanted everyone to like me. So I always bought all the right clothes, did all the right things, said all the right things, hung out with people that were popular to try to get liked. So it was constantly trying to people please. And that really affected me, I think, because I didn't really have a say in anything. I just kind of did everything to make everyone else happy. And so from there, I think after high school and into college, it kind of continued, but I almost masked it with a lot of alcohol and a lot of drinking. And I know everyone drinks in college, but for me, it was kind of my outlet because I was able to truly be myself and kind of come out of my shell and not be so shy anymore. So that was kind of like a way for me to escape this feeling of being not good enough or people not liking me. So I really masked it with alcohol and became this like party girl, and people liked me for that. And that's just kind of who I became. And I think a lot of that was like me attracting a lot of men through drinking and partying and just being like that popular, fun person at the party. And that was another thing that I used to cover up and kind of mask my fear of being seen or being judged. So that continued for me throughout college. I think afterwards I kind of came out a little bit of that, but I still continued to kind of have the same patterns and continued drinking, continued people pleasing, continued living for everyone else but myself, living in my ego. Up until really, I want to say the last 3 to 5 years, things really changed for me, and I really understood that I need to have a voice. I need to speak my truth. I really need to really become who I truly am. And I've always been this like loving, nurturing, sensitive person, but I always had this like passion behind just people, coming together, people being united, people, being loved, just really caring for one another and having that kind of community. And so I finally realized that this year, which it took me so long to understand, it's unfortunate, but obviously it's a learning lesson in life. And that's probably one of my biggest lessons, is to learn how to be authentically myself. And so I wrote down a couple of notes here, but I encourage you to let go of like the preconceived notions of who you think you're supposed to be. If you were like the party girl, or if you have some kind of label on you, drop all of that, because you don't have to be that person. You can be anything you want to be. So I would just say to drop all these labels and preconceived notions and ideas of what everyone else thinks you are, and just be who you are on the inside. And that may require doing the inner work and doing the shadow work to really find that out, because it took me some time to understand that. Another thing is, don't fear rejection. Another thing for me was I worked kind of in the corporate world for, I want to say 12 years, and in New York City. So there, people ranked your status level based on your job title. And I know that's not everywhere, another reason why I moved to Los Angeles, but so if you weren't, you know, in a prestigious company or had a really high up job title by a certain age, you were kind of like looked down upon. And because of that structure, I busted my ass throughout my 20s and worked my way up in all these really amazing companies. And I was so freaking miserable. And I wasn't doing it for myself. I just was like, oh, I need this title. I need this amount of money. I need this status. And that's how I'm going to look great to everybody. And I never truly wanted that. I mean, yeah, it's great to make money, but at the end of the day, like, I was never happy. And I was laid off like 2 or 3 times, just constantly, like, the universe was like, nope, this isn't for you. You need to move on from this life. So, you know, when I was laid off in March from my current job, that's kind of when I went to a full-blown spiritual awakening, and I'm like, I am so done with this corporate life. I'm going to design and create my own life and, you know, speak my truth. And that was the most important thing. So another thing is don't play small. I played so small throughout my life, and I really regret that because I just let people walk all over me, and I just wish I didn't let that happen sometimes, because I feel like I would be so much stronger as a person today. Obviously, we all work to overcome things in our life, but I'm just grateful that I learned this lesson, you know, at this point in my life, so I can move forward and kind of help and inspire other people. Yeah, so I mean, that's really like the gist of it. I think also a lot of it may stem from childhood, growing up, and I think also your parents, I think, play a bigger role than I realized. I know for my parents, when I was in high school and younger, like, they were so strict. I wasn't allowed out after a certain time. I wasn't allowed at my friends' houses to sleep over. I wasn't allowed on trips. They were just like super strict with everything, and I don't know why, because they were very kind of free-spirited hippie 70s people, like, before that, which is funny. Anyway, so I think that also affected me, because then I became like a rebel. I was like, you're gonna tell me not to do something, I'm going to do it. So I mean, there were times where I like put myself in really bad situations. I snuck out of the house a lot of times. I dated older men. I jumped off my roof to sneak out of the house, which is like insane. But like, I understand now how I do not want to parent, because that really affected me. I just, I saw my friends who had parents that were really kind of chill and laid back, and they were just these really like awesome people. And not to say they don't have their own issues, but I think there's a good balance in parenting, especially. And I'm going to learn that lesson once I have kids too, but I'm grateful for that lesson, because now I know what I want to do with my children and not do with my children. So I would say that don't let fear hold you back from creating this beautiful magic in your life, because you have it in you to do it. And don't be fearful. Like, if you're fearful, you have to conquer it, because that's how you grow, expand, and move forward. So I encourage you this week to really focus on conquering one thing that scares you. It could be something so simple like speaking on a video like this. Like, that was a huge fear of mine, even public speaking, or just like putting yourself out there, saying something that's truthful, that may not resonate with everybody. Just really try to put yourself out there, and you're going to grow. You're going to grow as a person, and it's going to be so rewarding for you. So I hope this helps everyone. I encourage you to really try this out, and I love you all so much, and have a beautiful rest of your week. Bye.